In the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent lies a vast, flat, and impossibly fertile plain, a gift of the great rivers that have nourished it for eons. It is a landscape of subtle beauty, of endless horizons, where the sky feels immense and the soil holds the memory of 1,000 harvests. This is a land that has always been generous, offering its bounty to all who call it home. Yet it demands a spirit of resilience in return for its gifts. This is a nation whose character is written in its soil. This is Bangladesh. From the ground, this land is felt not as geography, but as a current of human energy. It is a place of constant movement, of vibrant color, of millions of lives lived in close and constant proximity. The sheer vitality can seem overwhelming, a testament to a people who have not just survived, but have created a rich and complex culture in the face of immense challenges. This is not a story about hardship, but about the quiet, unyielding strength that overcomes it. It is a story of family, of community, and of the deep, unbreakable connection to a small piece of land that is, and always will be, home. Life here is shaped by a rhythm of density and community. The day begins early, as the first light cuts through the morning mist, a signal for the world to stir. In the sprawling, ever-expanding metropolis of Dhaka, a city of over 20 million souls, the relative quiet of the night gives way to a rising tide of human activity. The streets, a complex and bewildering web of wide, tree-lined avenues and ancient narrow alleyways, slowly come to life. The air fills with the aroma of freshly brewed tea and the sizzle of parathas frying on a flat griddle, a simple, hearty breakfast for millions. In the quiet villages that dot the countryside, the day begins, not with the sound of traffic, but with the sacred call to prayer, the crowing of a rooster, or the gentle, rhythmic splash of a fishing net being cast into a misty pond. This is a nation of profound contrasts, where the frenetic, almost overwhelming energy of the city exists alongside the timeless, unhurried pace of rural life. Yet a common thread runs through both, a deep and abiding sense of community. In a country this crowded, personal space is a luxury few can afford, but it is replaced by a wealth of social connection that is almost unimaginable in many parts of the world. Anonymity is a rare and often unwelcome concept. Neighbors are not strangers. They are an extension of the family, a vital network of support, familiarity, and shared experience that is woven into the very fabric of daily life. Life is lived in public, on the streets, in the bustling markets, in the shared courtyards, and in the countless tea stalls that serve as the nation's living rooms. There is an unspoken, deeply ingrained understanding that life's joys and burdens are to be shared, that the well-being of the individual is inseparable from the well-being of the whole. Daily life in Bangladesh is anchored in the bedrock of family. The family unit is the cornerstone of society, a powerful and resilient institution that provides structure, identity, security, and unwavering support. Homes are sanctuaries of shared life, places of warmth, constant interaction, and a gentle, organized chaos. It is common for multiple generations, grandparents, parents, and children to live together under one roof or in a cluster of homes around a shared courtyard, creating a vibrant, bustling domestic world. Grandparents play a central and cherished role in raising children, passing down stories, songs, and traditions, their wisdom a guiding force in the household. In the villages, life revolves around simple, time-honored routines, dictated by the cycles of the sun and the seasons. The day is marked not by the clock, but by the position of the sun in the sky and the needs of the land. For many, the first act of the morning is a look at the sky to gauge the weather, a constant and powerful participant in daily life that dictates the rhythm of agriculture. The home is a place of constant, purposeful activity. The meticulous preparation of meals from scratch, the care of children, the mending of clothes, the tending of a small vegetable garden that provides a vital supplement to the family's diet. There is a profound and beautiful sense of interdependence. When a task is too large for one family, such as harvesting a rice field before the rains come or repairing a roof damaged by a storm, the community instinctively comes together. This collective spirit, known as samaj, born of necessity in a land of shared resources and shared challenges, has become the bedrock of the social contract. Tradition in Bangladesh is not a relic of the past, preserved under glass. It is a living, breathing force that shapes the present and informs the future. The heart and soul of the nation's identity is the Bengali culture and the Bengali language, a rich, poetic, and lyrical tongue with a celebrated literary heritage stretching back over 1,000 years. The fight to preserve this language in 1952, when the government of what was then Pakistan declared Urdu to be the sole national language, was a defining and tragic moment in the nation's history. The sacrifices of the students who died for their mother tongue on the 21st of February that year ignited a cultural and political awakening that ultimately led to the War of Independence in 1971. This deep, passionate love for language and literature is woven into the national consciousness from the revered poetry of Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore and the national poet Qazi Nazrul Islam, whose works are known by heart by millions, to the lively intellectual and political debates that take place in the tea stalls of every city and village. This cultural pride is expressed in countless beautiful ways. It is in the vibrant colors and intricate nature-inspired patterns of the traditional clothing, the Jamdani sari, a masterpiece of hand-woven artistry so fine it has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It is in the soulful, mystical music of the balls, wandering minstrels who reject the confines of organized religion, singing of love, humanity, and a direct personal connection to the divine. It is in the joyous, colorful, and inclusive celebrations of festivals. For Muslims, who form the majority of the population, the two Eids are times of immense celebration, of prayer, feasting, charitable giving, and family gatherings that reunite relatives from far and wide. For the Hindu community, Durga Puja transforms towns and cities with its elaborate, artistic temporary structures called pandals, and the festive spirit of renewal. And for everyone, regardless of faith, there is Pohela Boishakh, the Bengali New Year, a joyous celebration of culture with colorful processions, traditional food, and a spirit of hope for the year ahead. These traditions are not just observed, they are cherished, a powerful, unifying force that connects each generation to the ones that came before. The engine of Bangladesh's modern economy and the source of its remarkable recent growth is the ready-made garment industry. In thousands of factories clustered around the urban centers of Dhaka and the port city of Chittagong, millions of workers, the vast majority of whom are women, produce clothing for the biggest brand names and markets across the globe. This industry has been a powerful, transformative driver of economic and social change, lifting millions of families out of poverty and empowering a generation of women who have moved from their rural villages to become key contributors to their family's income and architects of their own lives. The work is demanding, the hours are long, and the conditions can be challenging. But for many, it represents a vital opportunity, a pathway to economic independence, and a better life for their children. Alongside this modern industrial engine, the ancient rhythms of agriculture remain the backbone of the rural economy and the soul of the nation. The fertile delta is a natural greenhouse, and farming is a way of life for a significant portion of the population. Rice is the undisputed king of crops, its vibrant green shoots carpeting the landscape for much of the year, a symbol of life and sustenance. Farmers, using methods that have been passed down for centuries, also cultivate jute, once known as the golden fiber for its economic importance, as well as wheat, sugarcane, and a rich variety of vegetables. In the rolling, emerald hills of Sylhet in the northeast, a different kind of agriculture dominates, the orderly, beautiful tea gardens that produce some of the world's finest tea. Fishing, too, is a vital source of both food and income. In the countless rivers, ponds, and coastal areas of the south, fishermen use traditional techniques to bring in their daily catch. The economy is a complex and vibrant tapestry, from the large-scale manufacturing and agriculture to the sprawling, essential informal sector of street vendors, rickshaw pullers, and small, family-run shopkeepers who form the lifeblood of every city and town. Bangladeshi food is a direct, honest, and delicious reflection of the land, fresh, flavorful, and deeply connected to the seasons. The cuisine is built around the immense bounty of the rivers and the fertile soil. Rice, or bhat, is the heart of every single meal, the foundation upon which everything else is built, eaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fish, naturally, is the most cherished source of protein, with hundreds of freshwater varieties available. There is a saying that captures this perfectly: "Mache bhate Bengali," which means fish and rice make a Bengali, a freshly caught piece of ilish, the national fish, renowned for its rich flavor and delicate texture, simply steamed with mustard paste or lightly fried, is not just a meal. It is a cultural emblem, a taste of the place itself, celebrated in poetry and song. Dal, a simple, comforting, and nutritious lentil soup, is another essential staple, served with almost every meal. The flavors of the cuisine are complex and aromatic, built on a foundation of freshly ground spices like turmeric, cumin, coriander, and chili, balanced with the pungent kick of mustard oil. Home cooking is the heart of the food culture. Recipes are not written down, but are passed from mother to daughter, an oral tradition of taste and technique. The kitchen is the warm, bustling center of the home, a place of alchemy and love. Meals are a time for family to come together, to share food and conversation, reinforcing the bonds that tie them together. Street food is also a vibrant and essential part of daily life, with vendors offering delicious and affordable snacks like fuchka, crispy spheres filled with spiced potatoes and tamarind water, and savory, triangular samosas. And no day is complete without tea or cha, served hot, sweet, and milky from countless stalls, which act as the social hubs of every neighborhood, places for rest, conversation, and connection. To truly understand Bangladesh is to understand its intimate, complex, and often fraught relationship with water. The landscape is not a passive backdrop, it is an active, powerful, and ever-changing force. The rivers are the nation's highways, its lifeblood, carrying people and goods, and their silt-laden waters constantly reshape the land itself, creating new islands or chars while washing away old ones. The countryside is a stunning, almost luminous mosaic of green, a testament to the land's incredible fertility. Vast fields of rice stretch to the horizon, their color changing from a vibrant emerald to a rich gold with the passing of the seasons. In the southwest, where the land meets the sea, lies the Sundarbans, a mystical, awe-inspiring landscape of mangrove forests and tidal waterways. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a critical natural barrier that protects the coast from cyclones and the last remaining habitat of the majestic and elusive Royal Bengal tiger. Life here is lived in close proximity to nature in its wildest and most untamed form. But the most powerful natural force of all is the monsoon. From June to October, the skies open up, and torrential life-giving rains drench the country. The rivers swell, and much of the landscape becomes submerged in a vast sheet of water. For outsiders, it may look like a catastrophe, but for the people of Bangladesh, it is a familiar and essential rhythm. The monsoon replenishes the soil with rich silt, fills the rivers and ponds, and makes the land fertile for the next planting season. It is a force that is both life-giving and destructive, and the people have developed a remarkable, hard-won resilience, adapting their homes, their farming, and their very lives to its annual ebb and flow. For all its timeless rural beauty, Bangladesh is a nation on the move, a society in the midst of rapid, dizzying change. The streets of its cities are a testament to this energy, a vibrant, chaotic, and mesmerizing ballet of movement. The cycle rickshaw is the iconic mode of transport, a symbol of the country's human-powered ingenuity and artistic flair. Millions of these vehicles, each one adorned with colorful, hand-painted scenes of movie stars, animals, or fantastical landscapes, navigate the city streets, providing a livelihood for their drivers and an affordable, intimate way to travel for millions. They share the roads with buses, often packed to capacity with people hanging from the doorways, and a growing number of cars, a sign of the country's expanding middle class. The rivers, of course, remain vital arteries of transport. Large, multi-decked ferries, known as launches, are the workhorses of the waterways, carrying thousands of people and tons of cargo between the capital and the remote towns and villages of the south. A journey on one of these vessels is a quintessential Bangladeshi experience, a slow, social, and scenic way to see the heart of the country. A sophisticated infrastructure of bridges, including the mighty Padma Bridge, a monumental feat of engineering that has conquered one of the world's most challenging rivers, is connecting the country in new ways, reducing travel times and creating unprecedented economic opportunities. Alongside this physical connectivity, a digital revolution is taking place. Mobile phones are ubiquitous, even in the most remote villages, connecting people to information, services, mobile banking, and each other in ways that were unimaginable just a generation ago. For the young people of Bangladesh, who make up a significant and dynamic portion of the population, life is a fascinating and often challenging blend of deep-seated tradition and modern ambition. Education is seen as the most important and often the only pathway to a better future, and families make immense, selfless sacrifices to ensure their children can go to school. The classrooms may be crowded and the resources limited, but the desire to learn, to achieve, and to build a better life is powerful and palpable. After completing their schooling, many aspire to attend one of the country's public or private universities in cities like Dhaka, Chittagong, or Rajshahi. This generation is navigating a complex world. They are deeply connected to their cultural roots, their families, and their communities, but they are also citizens of a globalized world, connected to its ideas, trends, and opportunities through the internet and social media. They are dreamers and innovators, poets and programmers, activists and entrepreneurs, eager to contribute to their country's future. The great challenge for Bangladesh in the 21st century is to create enough diverse and meaningful opportunities to match the aspirations of its young, energetic, and increasingly well-educated population. It is a delicate and ongoing balancing act, fostering the innovation and economic growth necessary to build a sustainable future while preserving the unique culture and cherished traditions that give the nation its strength and identity. The rhythm of day and night in Bangladesh is a study in stark and beautiful contrasts. The daytime is a period of intense work, of movement, of commerce, of survival. The streets, markets, fields, and workplaces are hives of relentless energy. The air is filled with the sounds of a nation hard at work. The clang of metal in a workshop, the calls of vendors, the rumble of traffic, the hum of a million conversations. The energy is focused and productive, a reflection of a society built on diligence, resourcefulness, and a collective drive to move forward. As evening falls and the sun dips below the horizon, a profound and welcome shift occurs. The frantic pace of the day gives way to a palpable sense of calm and release. Life turns inward, toward the home, the family, and the immediate community. This is a time for connection. As the lights come on in the houses, people gather to share the evening meal, to talk about their day, to watch television, or to simply be together in each other's presence. In the villages, the quiet is even more profound. The sounds of the day are replaced by the gentle chirping of crickets, the distant barking of a dog, and the murmur of conversation drifting from the homes. This is a time for rest, for reflection, and for restoring the essential bonds of family and community, recharging the spirit for the new day. Life in this vibrant and resilient nation is not without its significant and at times overwhelming challenges. The sheer density of the population puts immense, unrelenting pressure on infrastructure, housing, and public services. Traffic congestion in the major cities can be legendary, turning short journeys into long, frustrating ordeals that consume time and energy. The annual monsoon, while essential for agriculture, also brings the constant threat of devastating floods that can displace communities, destroy homes, and ruin crops, pushing vulnerable families deeper into poverty. As a low-lying delta nation, Bangladesh is on the front line of a global climate crisis it did little to create. It faces the existential threats of rising sea levels that cause saltwater to intrude on precious farmland, and the increasing frequency and intensity of cyclones that batter its coastline. Economic inequality remains a persistent and visible issue, with a significant gap between the wealthy elite and the millions who struggle to make ends meet. Yet to focus only on the challenges, as immense as they are, would be to miss the most essential and inspiring part of the story. For the defining characteristic of the Bangladeshi people is their incredible, almost superhuman resilience, their ability to adapt, to innovate, to endure, and to find hope and joy in the face of unimaginable adversity. So, why do people choose to stay? Why do they build their lives here, in one of the world's most crowded and environmentally vulnerable nations? The answers are as varied as the individuals themselves, but they often circle back to the same core, fundamental themes. They stay for the profound, unbreakable bonds of family, for the feeling of belonging to a community where people genuinely know your name, share your history, and care for one another. They stay for the deep, unshakable connection to their culture, their language, their music, their food, and their shared history of struggle and triumph. They stay for the simple, profound beauty of the land, for the rhythm of the seasons, for the smell of the rain on dry earth, and for the taste of a meal made with ingredients grown in their own soil. In a world that often feels fragmented, lonely, and anonymous, Bangladesh offers a rare and powerful sense of belonging, of being rooted in a place and a people. And above all, they stay for the spirit of the place itself, a spirit of indomitable resilience, of infectious optimism, and of an unyielding belief in a better future, a belief that is renewed with every new harvest and every new generation. It is a connection that is forged in the rivers, in the soil, and in the shared, collective experience of living in a place of immense challenges and even greater heart. Bangladesh exists in a delicate, beautiful, and constantly negotiated balance between the timeless rhythms of nature and the relentless pace of modern life, between immense, daunting challenges and an even greater capacity for resilience and hope. It is a place shaped by its rivers, its soil, and a quiet, admirable, and deeply human strength. Here, life is not measured in grand events or dramatic upheavals, but in the steady, dependable cycle of the seasons, in the warmth of a shared meal, in the comfort of a familiar story, and in the simple, profound beauty of the everyday. It is a living, breathing testament to the idea that in one of the most crowded corners of our world, life flows on, like the great rivers themselves, powerful, patient, ever-changing, and full of an enduring, quiet and unconquerable grace.